Hello and welcome to another episode of Sportstar Extras. I am Mayan Acharya and joining me from Bombay is Amol Taratkar. Hi Amol,
How are you, Ayan?
I'm good. How are you?
All good, all good. So,
So quite
would
the
you have
day.
asked for a better return?
No, absolutely not. Quite the day of Test cricket. I mean, tells you what we have been missing all this while, right? I mean, England dominating the day's play for the longest time, and then West Indies coming back and taking those 5 wickets sets up the final day very nicely.
Exactly. Couldn't have asked for a better return. And anyway, the day's play also sums up the nature of Test cricket that it is. As in the first
Correct.
two sessions, England held the upper hand for the first two sessions. Not that they were right on top when it comes to the game situation, but it's just
Right.
that final session wherein they picked five for what 30 runs. That's
Yeah.
actually changed the whole complexion of the game. But would you say
Correct.
that England are as in would you say West Indies are back as favorites now?
No, I wouldn't go that far. I think they what that partnership in the second session between Zach Crawley and Ben Stokes was threatening to do was put like completely to rest any hopes of a West Indies win or a draw even because the way those two are batting and we know of course Ben Stokes can score at a pretty quick rate. So had both of those guys still been out there, then maybe England would have harbored hopes of a target in excess of 250 even. But now with those guys out, West Indies are back in the reckoning. But yeah, I wouldn't go as far as saying West Indies win looks more evident now than before. But yeah, it was quite a comeback. I mean, the way they fought back, especially after that partnership between Zach Crawley, who batted brilliantly, and Ben Stokes. But in a way, again, I mean, what we've been discussing over the past few days, that brittle middle order sort of came back to sort of haunt England without Joe Root, and it sort of lacks that adhesive factor, don't you think?
Yes, but I think it's also got to do with the rustiness, the lack of match practice and all. Because
Correct,
as we saw today, the top four applied themselves much better than in the first innings.
correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe that has something to do with it. Moreover, as in more than talking about England bowling, I would love your views about the
Hmm.
West Indian pacers, especially Alzarez Joseph. He
Yeah,
couldn't do much in the first innings, but today he
correct.
has justified his selection in the 11, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it was heartening to see them bowl that way because there wasn't much in the wicket for the fast bowlers. I mean, there wasn't much swing or seam. And even in the first session, both the openers, as we were discussing, they had to come good. They came good. And they showed a lot of discipline against Shinon Gabriel and Kemar Roach. But the minute Holder and Roston Chase started bowling in tandem, that's when things sort of started, getting tricky for the batsmen because they sort of started tightening the noose on them, weren't giving away the easy runs. And then, of course, Joseph, later in the day came into his own. But what's really admirable about this West Indies attack is, and something that West Indies had been guilty of in the past, whenever the conditions stopped helping them, they looked pretty flat. We saw that when they toured India also in 2018. But today it was good to see that, despite the pitch and the conditions not favoring fast bowlers, they just kept at it and were eventually rewarded. So as you correctly said, I mean it's they are not out of the woods yet, but it's a lot different than what it would have been if say Zach Crawley and Ben Stokes were still batting at stumps.
Right. Sets up for a fascinating last day's play,
Yeah,
isn't it?
absolutely. I mean,
Moreover, I just have one more observation. Day three, we saw wickets falling in heaps in the last session. Day
yeah,
four, something similar has happened. But
yeah.
do you really think that we would reach the third session on day five? Or would England be desperate to stretch it into the last session?
Yeah, I'm wondering what their strategy will be tomorrow because they're just left with 2 wickets. So I mean, they'll probably go hammer and tongs tomorrow and try and add as many as they can to the total. So West Indies, I reckon, and the matter of the fact is, it's not like West Indies have a very consolidated batting attack. So England will back themselves. Anything over between 200 250 will set up a very interesting first session, I would say. Forget, I don't think the game will go into the third session. If say someone like Jimmy Anderson finds the reverse swing going, then it will be quite difficult for the West Indies batsmen. And who knows, maybe even Jofra Archer, who had a pretty ordinary outing by his standards in the first innings, sort of comes into his own. So then West Indies could find it very difficult. But yeah, again, the top order, as we discussed earlier for England, the other day, they had to come good. They came good today. So it'll be very important that West Indies, whenever they come into bat, they negotiate that first hour without any loss of wickets, get to that 50, and maybe, like, as they say, take it in 50s and hundreds and try and get to the total.
Just wear your predictor's hat and give me your prediction. Who will go one
Yeah,
love up?
I would say it's still 60-40 England. Still 60-40 England. But I would love to see West Indies win this match because that sets up the series nicely.
You're being a typical journalist. Give me your prediction.
Okay, then I will go with 60-40 England. I think England have it in the bag. What about you?
Okay. Yeah, even I feel it will be England. So
Yeah.
let's see how it goes tomorrow.
Yeah, let's see. So, I mean, it's good to see that finally Test cricket is back and, and back in its elements. So, all three results possible going into day 5 couldn't have asked for a better start to the international season.